All right, guys, so we got to talk about left-wing academic, PhD, Miss Sarah Kendzior, who has a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, making an absolutely insane statement about Trump on MSNBC with no pushback whatsoever, in which she falsely claims that in 2016, Trump was installed as president. Take a look.
I mean, this has been going on since Trump announced his run for office. And, many people in, Putin's corner saw the appeal of a white nationalist demagogue. And they're also financially linked. I mean, that's, I think, what we need to look at most here. We obviously have a problem with hateful rhetoric, with threats of violence, but they are funded. They are backed up by the same group of oligarchs and plutocrats and elite operatives who are also involved in the election. People like Paul Manafort, Michael Flynn, Roger Stone, people who are still on the run now, and oligarchs backing up Putin. So there's a lot of mutually beneficial, kleptocratic and autocratic bonds that have been formed, and very little accountability for anyone, which is why we've reached the point that members of Congress feel comfortable speaking at this sort of horrific rally. Trump was installed as the president of the United States in order to weaken the alliances that were preventing Putin from achieving his goals. Alliances like NATO, our relationship with our European partners, our relationship with Ukraine. Trump was put in as a bulldozer, and he was also put in, as Malcolm said, as a bulldozer to the Constitution, to our system of checks and balances, to our system of institutional trust, and the unwillingness of people in the United States to confront the brokenness of those institutions, whether through financial corruption in recent years or age-old systemic problems like the endemic racism that holds our country up, has contributed to that. And Fox News, in this sense, is just an extension of that long-running destructive pattern.
This is what they're doing. While, Putin is invading Ukraine under Biden, something he didn't do under Trump, he did it under Obama, he did it under Bush. And MSNBC is playing up the Russia collusion hoax narrative with a twist, right? With a twist, because the new thing now from the left, the new conspiracy, is that there's some type of white nationalist synergy going on between Putin and, Trump and people that, support Trump and Republicans and all that stuff, right? There's a white nationalist, white supremacist synergy going on, right? Because they don't really have any evidence of real actual collusion. So they're saying that, oh no, well, it's race, right? It's racism, okay? And bigotry, right? And the fact that they're white. That's all the proof that we need to connect them together, right? I don't understand. I don't get it. MSNBC posted this clip, specifically the clip of her falsely claiming that Trump was installed as president in 2016. They posted it on their Twitter. Why is Twitter not censoring that tweet, right, for false election misinformation, right? Because that is what it is, right? That's exactly what's happening. MSNBC is actively pushing a narrative that Trump is an illegitimate president, that Putin installed Trump into office, right? And Tiffany D. Cross, the host of that show, gives no pushback whatsoever on that claim. She's like, oh, yeah. Incredible stuff. And it's absolutely incredible to see, because you have people that actually do believe this, right? They actually do believe that Trump was installed by Putin. There's no evidence whatsoever to support that claim. There's none, zero, okay? Even if you buy into the Russian election interference narrative, okay, in which they claim that, Russia was out here targeting blacks. Right, Russia was trying to get, black people to vote for Trump. I don't know what the claims really are at this point, okay? Even if you buy into it, what proof do you have that it affected the outcome of the election? They have none. They have zero. Just like they have no proof that Trump and Putin were working directly together. They have none whatsoever. The Mueller report found that there's no evidence of direct collusion between Trump and Putin. The Steele dossier has been debunked time and time again. There's no evidence. But yet these people still keep pushing this claim, this false claim. But if somebody on the other side of the aisle makes a similar claim about a Democrat president, those people are censored and deleted from the internet. They're called insurrectionists. They're trying to actively overthrow the government, but the Democrats have been pushing this conspiracy for years, and they just allowed to get away with it. It blows my mind. How in the world does Twitter allow that tweet to stay up when they told us that saying things like that are dangerous? Okay? I don't understand. I don't get it. Again, it's the double standard from social media that really kills me about this. These social media companies, big tech. They'll censor one side of the aisle when they make these claims, but another side of the aisle that makes the exact same claims. Matter of fact, that was the original people making those claims. No, it's fair game, right? They can say whatever they want to say, right? Even though there's no evidence whatsoever to back those things up, okay? And this is what the Democrats are doing. They haven't accepted 2016. They're not even going to accept 2022. They're not going to accept 2024. In fact, Joe Biden just yesterday at his little Black History Month speech in the White House basically said that the GOP is trying to stop black votes from counting.
We're going to keep pushing on this, and we're protecting our country's threshold liberty, the sacred right to vote, which I've never seen is under such attack. You know, it's always made it harder for blacks to vote, but this is trying to be able to figure out how to keep the black vote when it occurs from even counting. Over the past year, we've directed federal agencies to promote access to...
Incredible stuff, right? That's the sitting president, right? The Democrat president, basically saying that, hey, the GOP, they're trying to rig the election, right? They're trying to keep black votes from counting. That's literally what he's saying. That is the implications of what he's saying. He's openly and freely allowed to say that, but yet he's not being impeached, right? He's not being kicked off social media. He's not being censored. He's allowed to say those things, okay? Again, I'm trying to tell people, bro, what the Democrats are going to do when they lose in 2022. It won't be as bad in 2022 as it will in 2024. But especially, again, if Trump wins again in 2024, the Democrats are not just going to accept it, right? They're not going to go quietly into the night and just wave a white flag and say, oh, it's over. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to make all kinds of claims, okay? They're going to make a whole lot of similar claims that they claim, you know, was, hey, you shouldn't say those things. Those are things that are dangerous. Those are attacks on democracy. You're an insurrectionist. They're going to make a whole bunch of claims that they claim that they were against, okay? I mean, guys, take a look at this story out of Florida in which Democrats are accusing Republicans of switching voter registration's party affiliation from Democrat to Republican. Take a look.
This is really the first time since we uncovered this apparent deception that we hear from someone that has actually been working as part of that whole program. Of note here, listen to what she says and realize that if she's correct, this has been going on for years.
They were hiring for that I-4 corridor. So they were looking for canvassers.
She prefers you not know her name as you hear her account of her job in the fall of 2019 with a nonprofit called Florida First to, quote, engage voters with petitions about issues.
They encouraged us to engage people, especially minorities.
When you say that was how you were to engage a voter, was there was an ulterior motive?
Later, I did find out there was an ulterior motive. Their goal, which they let us know, was to close the gap between the number of Republicans and Democrats.
She came forward after our reports revealing a growing number of lifelong Florida Democrats shocked to learn that their party affiliations had been changed.
They changed me to the Republican Party.
She began to notice her colleagues registering increasing numbers of Republicans over Democrats, and she says,
place their hand over the bottom right left corner of that form, which is the party affiliation box.
To hide the boxes?
Yes, to hide the box. Letting the person walk away, turning the form back around, putting on their clipboard, and checking Republican Party of Florida.
You watched that happen?
Yes.
Florida First is on a list of authorized third-party voter registration organizations.
The number you dialed is not a working number.
Their phone, though, is disconnected. Important to note, she says she, as a Florida First employee, was never directly asked or directed to cheat. So here in Miami, we are in front of senior housing where dozens of residents say their parties were switched without them knowing. That was just last fall.
Now, guys, imagine if that story was the other way around, right? And Republicans accuse Democrats of flipping or switching party association of registered voters. They be laughed out of the building. They be called conspiracy theorists, right? Insurrectionists, okay? Attacks on democracy. That's exactly what would happen. Local news, they wouldn't pick that up. They wouldn't pick up that story. They would mock it. They would mock it and say, oh, no, this is just, insurrectionist talk, right? It wouldn't even be a serious story. Again, this is what is happening. You're starting to see all of a sudden Democrats are becoming the party of election integrity, right? They care about election integrity now all of a sudden, right? Because they know that the writing is on the wall for them. They know they're about to get blown out in 2022, and they're probably going to lose the presidency in 2024. So they're already coming up with their excuses. The excuse of, well, the GOP, they kept black people from voting, right? They was switching people's party registrations and stuff like that, right? That's the type of stuff that you're saying. Instead of just saying, oh, wait, hold on. Voters rejected our agenda, right? They rejected inflation. They rejected the supply chain crisis. They rejected the border crisis. They rejected crime. They rejected being embarrassed on the world stage. No, that can't be it. That cannot be it. It has to be that the GOP kept black people from voting. That's why we lost, right? And we can't accept that, right? That's literally what they're going to say. That's literally what they're going to say. They're lining up the excuses. They're lining it up. It is absolutely insane to see them be able to get away with this and to say this stuff with no pushback whatsoever. And again, when it happens in 2022, 2024, when Democrats come out here and make all these insane claims, right, that are attacks on democracy, big tech will not censor them, right? They won't be censored. They won't be silenced. They won't be taken off of social media the same way they did other folks. So when these people out here claim that big tech doesn't have a political bias, this right here, the claims that Democrats are making right now that big tech said that you can't make, and the fact that Democrats aren't being punished, they aren't being actively censored for making these claims, is all the proof you need to know that there is a political bias when it comes to who big tech chooses to censor and who they don't choose to censor. It's really that simple. It's very obvious. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.